Hello, friends. Thank you so much for joining my friend Bryan and I today. Bryan is a pastor at the McFarland Church of Christ in McFarland, Wisconsin, and we've collaborated a little bit before and have something else coming up that we're cooking up for you guys, a summer solstice event on June 21st. And a lot of people have been asking, how in the heck is it that Jessica, shamanic practitioner, and Bryan, minister of a Christian church, have come together to collaborate, to have these conversations, and to open space in these ways? So I thought that's a really good question, and maybe they just need to hear it from the horse's mouth. So Bryan, I'd love for you to just talk a little bit about, it was really you, I think, that had kind of reached out and started this about a year ago with our mutual friend, Lori. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Trish, for connecting us. So, you had really kind of set this ball in motion, and here we are. We've had a lot of really fascinating conversations about your beliefs and my beliefs and how they come together and how we can create things that really bring people together. So
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being willing to do this. And one quick correction, the denomination, our church is McFarland United Church of Christ. Okay. And that's only important because there's another denomination called the Church of Christ, which is extremely conservative. Okay. And we're probably theologically and politically on the other end of the spectrum, just in terms of generalizations. But so the United Church of Christ in general, we tend to be very open, very inclusive. One of the jokes is that UCC stands for Unitarians Considering Christ, but we're very much Christian. I'm very much into Jesus. That's really at the heart of how we pursue the spiritual journey, but not over and against or in competition with or to the exclusion of anything else. And really what we're all about is just seeking truth and love in as many different forms as possible and trying to engage with people. One of the things that I often say is that we try to look for common ground, which always leads to higher ground. So we're always looking for ways to respectfully engage with other traditions and to cross lines that historically haven't been crossed, and to do so with respect and honor. So working together, collaborating, and finding those sweet spots of truth that are at the heart of pretty much every major religious tradition is what we're all about. So I could say lots more about that, but I'll be quiet and give you a chance to respond to that.
Yeah, no, I love that. And, the first time that we came together and collaborated was an event that you've done before. It sounds like it's an ongoing event of One Love. And I really loved that event so much because you gave the space for Lori and I to present shamanic things and practices. And then you brought in people to share quotes and wisdom from their spiritual background, or maybe not necessarily theirs, but a variety of spiritual belief systems. And they were all kind of talking about the same core value that I think we all share of love and maybe of unity and of, the divinity that we are all connected to. So I don't know if you want to talk just briefly about how the One Love events came to be for you and what that looks like. Like, how often are you doing them, and what are you doing?
Sure. So, well, the pandemic kind of got in the way of the flow of it, but we try to do it 4 times a year, once a quarter, to have what we call a One Love Interfaith worship service, where we invite somebody who represents a different religious tradition, Buddhists. We're hoping to have some Islamic imams, just various people from different traditions, to come and not only participate with us in a worship service, but to actually give the message from their perspective and to lead that with a view toward embracing and tapping into those truths that we share. And you remembered what part of the liturgy that we came up with was 9 different versions of the Golden Rule, which was often recognized, treat people the way you'd like to be treated, as one of the heart teachings of Jesus. But every major religious tradition has something very close to that. And so that's part of the liturgy. That's probably what you're remembering. But yeah, so it's just, again, it's an attempt to celebrate what we have in common. And part of what motivated it is just being realistic and honest about this horrific truth, or horrific history that the church has of dishonoring so many other traditions and being exclusive. And I would say getting the essence of our own message wrong at those points historically. And, we can all rattle them off. I mean, the Crusades, the Inquisition, burning witches, et cetera. I mean, just the way women have been treated, the patriarchy. So we're part of a church tradition that's still very much coming out of the Judeo-Christian teachings, but realizing that the core of those was way more inclusive and radically welcoming and loving than the church as an institution has often lived out. So we're trying to bring some healing to that history.
Yeah. Oh, I love that so much. And one of a value that I hold very near and dear to my heart, of course, is unity and love and loving each other. And how do we come together and how can we work together and see how similar we really are. And, so everything that you're talking about, I appreciate so very deeply, because I think it's, conversations like this of unexpected friendships and collaborations is really, I think it's the path forward to a peaceful society, a place of equality and harmony and really that unconditional love and joy for all of us. We need to come together. So I was so excited to connect with you and hear that this is all really important to you as well. I really appreciate everything that you're doing. And the congregation, everyone that I've met at the congregation there is just so cool, just amazing, super big hearts, really open. So I feel very blessed to have found you all.
Yeah, well, you've already been such a gift to our congregation, and we just love what you're doing. And I delight in letting people know about you and your practice as a practitioner, and directing people your way whom I think might really benefit from shamanic healing practices. And I have a great love, as you and I've discussed often, and have studied shamanic healing practices myself. So there's nothing but deep appreciation and respect going both ways, and that's what this is all about. And specifically with regard to the solstice, maybe we should just touch on that for a second. Part of, as we've been trying to be respectful and heal some of this horrific history, part of that is being honest about the fact that the church historically co-opted so many so-called pagan holidays and either discounted them or, in some ways stole them, and appropriated them in the name of the Christian church calendar year. So we're just trying to be honest about that. But when you look at something like Easter, for example, even the name Easter comes from a goddess, Esther, not the biblical Esther, it's O-S-T-R-E. But so it's not even a biblical name, but most people have no idea that that's the truth. And so much of our church calendar year evolves around the lunar and the solar cycles, and Christmas falling near the winter solstice, and the symbols of light. And so we're wanting to clarify, and instead of compete with that history, honor it and give thanks to, the word pagan, by the way, only means other. So give thanks for some other traditions in a way that honors and respects the other, rather than bad othering, as Buddhists would often put it. So this is an opportunity for us to bring some unity, and maybe that's a chance to say more about, you and I have talked about how we would love this June 21st celebration to be about unity and unifying and healing some of the divisions in our culture right now.
Yeah, absolutely. The solstice is such a good time to come together and really align more fully with our own inner light and recognize that we are all connected to the same source, whatever you want to call that, of light. And, when we fill ourselves with that light, it ripples out. It creates a lot of peace and I think health and well-being and happiness and joy within ourselves and all the lives that we touch around us, right? And then weaving in these ideas of unity, of how can we come together? How can we find unity within ourselves and without, and heal the divisiveness that is just kind of running rampant right now. I think a lot of us can feel divided even within ourselves of, beliefs and how we hold certain relationships with people that have various beliefs, and it feels so much more magnified than it ever has. So, how can we heal that and shed what's really holding us back from that peace, that unifying peace? And I think that when we really have that focus and welcoming in that unity, we're also really reclaiming our power to get things done in our own life and as a collective. We start to really regain our momentum to make things happen, to make the things happen that we all want. Like, no matter belief system, is like, I think most of us want, clean food, clean water, safety, for ourselves and for our loved ones, and peace and health, right?
Right.
That's what we're about generally as people. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So beautifully said. And so I'm thinking, people who are watching this might be curious, what are you going to do on the 21st? How are you going to honor both of these traditions? Should we say just a word about that? I mean, you and I have talked, we haven't fleshed it out completely yet, but I know that what we imagine is having some prayers and some sort of rituals from both traditions. And on the Christian side, there's this beautiful Celtic Christian tradition, very earth-focused, earth-centered, that got squelched by the Roman Catholic Church in about the 600s or so. But that tradition is there, and we're going to draw from some of that and just really embrace the creation as a gift from the divine. And then fire is very much a part of both traditions. But how about you, from the shamanic tradition? What might we experience together on the 21st?
Yeah, well, I really like the idea of having some spaciousness, and, so we're not doing this and that and that and that. It's like creating and really deepening into this spacious, relaxed place. So I think I would like to do a short shamanic opening of the sacred space, and really allow you to share your gifts as you so eloquently always do. I love the way that you convey your messages and put your own heart into it. It's you're very masterful. It's an art, and you've really perfected that, I feel. So allow you to kind of share from your beliefs and lineages and that history, and then moving into a fire ceremony where we can work with intention with the fire. And if people want to put intentions in for things that they want to shed and let go of, maybe it's related to some of the stuff that we're talking about here. Maybe it's not. It doesn't have to be. It's whatever you want it to be, whatever is speaking to your heart at that time. So I'll give a little instruction for people to do that, to work with the fire in that way. And I think it'll be a really, really nice time together.
Yeah. Me too. I'm really looking forward to it. And again, just so appreciative that you're willing to do this, and this call for unity, for us to deliberately be just crossing some of the divisions that have been historically in place, but to just honor each other and see the presence of the divine in each other and bring light and love to this. And to call for that in as many places as possible, and then to make space for it. But I also just want to say that people do not need to be an adherent to either tradition. You can just be curious and feel like showing up and just having a beautiful evening together. It's going to be early enough that the kids could come from 7 to 9. We wanted to make it late enough that it will at least be getting dark, since it is the longest day of the year. It'll be beautiful. We'll hope we'll have decent weather. Outside on the church grounds, we have a beautiful grove of trees there, and a fire pit. So it'll be a beautiful place. And we'll do a little bit of drumming, not too loud, because there's some neighbors not too far away. But anyway, it'll be a really beautiful time of honoring each other, honoring the gift of the earth, and all that it's about. So
Yeah.
Okay, hope to see a bunch of people there.
Yeah. Anything else that you want to add, or anything we missed?
No, that's it for now.
Okay.
Well, only that I hope this is the first of many such things that we can do together, and the more the better. But we'll start here.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I feel that same way. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Bryan. I'm really looking forward to doing this event with you, and I can't wait to see everyone that shows up. So thank you,
Thanks.
guys. Bye.
Bye.